Hi everyone, welcome to Crafty Shenanigans. I'm Shannon Smith, and today I have for you a background made with photo paper and resist spray. I don't know if you've ever used this distress resist spray. It's kind of fun to play with. And so we're going to use that, and we're going to use some water-based ink on photo paper. So let's just get started. Okay, so to start out, I'm just going to use some of this photo paper, and I honestly can't tell you too much about the paper because it was given to me. I've had it for a few years, and a sweet person gave me a whole bunch of them, and this is what they look like originally. So I just am going to go ahead and I cut this one down for my card, and we are just going to go ahead and get started. This one is just a little bit less than like about 1/8 of an inch less than 4 inches and 1/8 of an inch less than 5 1/4. All right, so I'm going to take, this is the Distress Resist Spray, and this is by Ranger and Tim Holtz. And this stuff is so much fun. If you haven't played with it, you are in for a treat. So I'm just going to spray this on the shiny side of my photo paper. And I'm not going to go too crazy, but I do want it to be pretty splotchy. Let's see, I need to get one more one out of that. I think that'll about do it. And it really does not take very long for it to dry. So I'll just talk to you and you can kind of see how long it takes. And in the meantime, I can talk to you about the ink. So I'm going to use this. This is RG Avenue ink. These are the sugar drops, and these serve as re-inkers for the ink pads as well. So the ink pads, as well as just to use them however you want. And these are water-based inks, and you can kind of see. We're going to use Sweet Banana, Sour Mist, Tangy Gum, and Rich Blueberry. And I actually also, I found these little brushes. If you've seen some of my videos before, I like this little Japanese store we have here. It's called Cutie, and they have just fun little, it's like a Japanese dollar store, like a kind of like a Dollar Tree. And they actually had these little brushes, and they reminded me of the life-changing brushes, which I have not tried yet. So I thought, well, it was like $1.50, I think. I thought it'd be worth it to just give it a try. So we will use those to help blend our ink a little bit. And let's just check this out. Let me see if it's about, it's drying pretty fast, but just to be safe, let's just hit it with the heat tool really quick. And one thing I will say is you want to be careful when you're using your heat tool with your photo paper, because it can scorch. It seems to scorch a little bit faster, and it's definitely more obvious. So I would hold your heat tool far away and don't hold it on there very long. And this is mostly dry. I just see a couple of more concentrated spots. I just wanted to make sure that these little spots were definitely dry. And I think by the time we work our way down to that, I think it will be dry. So we'll go ahead and let it dry the rest of the way. So I'm going to use, I've got my clear block. You can see it's, everything we're doing is going to be fairly messy. So I got out my messiest mat. You can see I use it with alcohol inks. So we'll just go ahead and wipe that off. And honestly, I don't really think I need it because the ink is water-based. It'll pretty well come off. I think we'll just get this guy out of the way. But for the distress spray, I wanted to use it on that. Okay. So now we are going to use our little ink, our little acrylic block for our palette. So I'm going to use some of our Sweet Banana first. And you really don't need much. Like, I think 2 drops is plenty. at least to start with. So I'm just going to ink up my brush a little bit. And we'll just come back to it if we need more. And I'm going to start off of the card panel first. Let me make sure that I'm in the camera view. I tend to hold it close to me, so I need to make sure I'm where I need to be. We're just going to, in circular motions, just kind of blend that onto our paper. Just in easy motions. And our background we're creating is going to be something kind of seaside-y. Kind of, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so we've got a good start on that. And we also want to have a baby wipe handy. Because we want our distress ink to come through. And it's okay if you kind of mess with the ink a little bit, it may react to it a little bit. Most of our ink is down lower, but have one handy. So now let's go ahead and go on to Sour Mist. And I actually probably don't even need as much ink as I've got here, but we will check it out. Okay, so again, I kind of like to start off just in case, so I can kind of avoid those harsh lines. You're gonna want to blend right up in to the sweet banana. And you can see now our resist spray showing through, which is so much fun. And I like the way it kind of looks like an ocean spray. Or some sea foam or something. I think we could use just a little more color right through there. We may even go back through and put more on there. But for now, let's actually go to the tangy gum and see if we still feel like we need it. So again, I'm using 2 drops of color. Of our sugar drops. So this is the tangy gum. And photo paper is just a little more color fast, so it's easier to get kind of those uneven blend lines. And I think that's okay for what we're doing, because we're doing, like I said, kind of a rough sea or an ocean, so I actually like it for this particular project. All right, so let's move on to our rich blueberry. You want it more intense down at the bottom. And then if you see that where you've got your resist has a little color on it, that's what your wipe is for. It'll wipe right off. Look at how easily, because of the water-based ink. And see how it looks like little sprays in the ocean? I love that. So I actually am wondering if we might want to put just a little bit more. Kind of just wanting to blend up a little bit in here a little bit more. So play with it until you like it. I think that will work. Okay, so now we've got our background ready to go, and I colored a few of these, and I thought we would keep our video short, so I didn't do it on the video, but I did use Copics, and I colored a couple of little rocks. And then here's our little mermaid, and we're just gonna place her, I think, right there. And when you do a fancy background, you don't want to cover it all up. So I like to use vellum when I do that for my sentiments, so that you can kind of see through it and it doesn't overpower all the fun stuff that you've done on your background. And then I've just got a little seashell and some little seaweed that we'll just kind of drape over the rock. So let's go ahead and I'll put that together really quick. I'll show you the other one. This is actually the first one that I made, but they're pretty much the same. So I'm just going to assemble that really quick. Just going to mat it on this blue. So we're just going to place that on our card base. With vellum, you kind of have to be strategic in where you put your adhesive, because you don't want to be able to see it. So I think I'll put a little bit . So I put a little bit of adhesive right here, but another thing you can do is you can just add a little dab of glue and then wipe it off, and then that doesn't show too bad either. So we'll try both methods. This glue doesn't dry really, really fast though, so hopefully that will work out okay. But yeah, see, you don't see it, so we're good there. I haven't decided if we want to pop her out or not. Let's see. Yeah, we could do that. We'll pop her out. Kind of playing with as we go. I kind of like bending up the seaweed because seaweed just isn't, it has a lot of movement to it if it's, you know, kind of floating around in the water. So I think we pretty well got it. Maybe move our rocks up a little bit. Kind of like them tucked to be a little bit, the sentiment tucked behind it a little bit more. So here's the finished card. You can see I have colored this cute little mermaid. She's from the set from My Favorite Things Mermazing, and they actually do have coordinating dies, though I forgot until after I had made my card, so I didn't actually use the dies, but how nice that they have them. And so yeah, I used a little piece of vellum for my sentiment because I don't want to cover up all of the fun stuff that we just did. And you can see I've added the little shell and some little seaweed, but yes, I colored all of these with my Copics, and I will list the colors that I used in the description. And anyway, you can see I've matted it. Such a fun card, and that background was so fast and so easy to do. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope that maybe you are inspired to do some experimenting on your own. And if you enjoyed this, please go ahead and share it with your friends and subscribe so that we can keep bringing you fun content. Thank you so much, and I will catch you next time on Crafty Shenanigans.